Hey, good morning. It is January 2nd, and I want to talk to you about something you don't want to talk about, probably. This is why won't you accomplish your New Year's resolutions? And you're thinking to yourself, what the heck, Adam? Why are you saying this to me? Well, I mean, let's talk about this here for a second. Consider this. Consider this. You have three people in front of you. Okay. They all want to achieve the same thing or go the same place. One of them is super impulsive, okay? Really impulsive, likes to just grab something to eat real quick or take a nap or, you know, maybe hop on Facebook. I don't know. One is super impulsive, but they're also a sprinter. They're like, bam, they're gone. One's a planner. One's a planner. Second person's a planner. They a lot of times they overplan. They're like, okay, let's figure out all the different ways we can do this and plan, and things of that nature. And they start really overthinking things a lot. And then the third one, they're super emotional. They're really conscious of what other people think about them. They're like, "Oh, what are my friends going to think? I'm going to be embarrassed." They're really social. They want to go hang out with people and be very caring, emotional, interactive that way. So you got three different kinds of people. They all have this goal of going the same place. Now picture they're all tied together, or maybe they're in the same car or something like that. But they're all together and making this decision to get there. Now picture this also, that this place or this goal that they have is your New Year's resolution. It's your resolution. How will they get this done for you? And you're thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, this is a nightmare. This just got messy, didn't it? Why? Because we know that there's going to be argument. We know that there's going to be a lot of difficulty, friction, things like that. Now, here's the reality, folks. These are not three separate people. These are not three separate people. These are you. These are all three parts of your brain and how we think about these different parts of this goal, of this resolution, of how are we going to accomplish this particular item. So these, you might have heard these three parts called like the reptilian brain, the mammalian brain, and the conceptual brain. Psychology and people who write about these things have many different ways that they talk about them. But the reality is we have these three different ways of considering things. And when we have something new that we're instituting into our lives, like a New Year's resolution, taking you back to why we struggle to complete these things. The reality is we create friction. Ever feel that friction? Have you felt that friction? I felt that friction when you're starting something new. What does that friction do? That friction does a few things. First of all, it overwhelms a lot of people. It depends on which of those brains you lean on more heavily, but a lot of times it overwhelms folks and it saps your willpower away from you. Well, willpower is the strongest form of energy that we have. And when we're reducing that energy, we're taking away, it's like a battery being less of a charge. What happens when a battery has less of a charge in it? That's our willpower. The motor or the light or whatever is more dim or less strong. It's more likely to stop or go out. So we have to figure out a way to maximize this willpower, to maximize the cooperation amongst these three brains so that we stop trying to plan and deal with this situation and argue about the situation and create friction about the situation, and we do it, and we do it in a way that allows us to find accomplishment, to find the achievement of these goals. So really what happens is when we start doing this more and more and more, everybody continues to agree upon their part of this. All three of the brain continue to agree upon the parts of this that they're doing, and we get more used to it. And it turns into a habit. And ultimately, that's what we're trying to accomplish here is build habits out of our New Year's resolution. So what we have to do with these three people is we have to set boundaries with them, with ourself, with the different parts of our impulsive self, our emotional self, our rational self. We have to set these boundaries and say, what can you do in order to accomplish these things? Interesting way of thinking about that, isn't it? Because once we set these boundaries, we can go back and do this again and again and again. It's like getting up in the morning to go exercise. It's dark out. I got to go let the dogs out, get my coffee, get out the door to go to the gym, things like that. Once you've done that enough, at some point, everybody's agreed upon it in your head, and you wake up and you're like, let's go do this. And sure, there may be some difficulty because it's cold or dark or whatever. But the reality is, everybody's already agreed, so let's go. And that's how you work your way to going from setting a new process or a goal to creating a habit. And I'm going to talk more about habits in the future. But the reality is, we have to get over these boundaries with these three people. Okay. Sometimes this is quick. Sometimes it causes friction. Sometimes it continues to have these arguments. But the reality is, the more we agree upon these things, the more we ask ourselves, what would it take for me to get over this and get out the door to go to the gym, to do my resolution, to even, take a few minutes and journal, or to pick up the phone and call somebody. Maybe your New Year's resolution has to do with sales, and you're going to call 10 more people a day, or you're going to contact 10 more of your past customers a day, something like that. You're going to find a way to rationalize out of this with those three brains. And as soon as we start letting them take control, this resolution will go away. But as soon as we all agree upon everything, how can you, reptilian brain, help me do this? Okay, let's agree that's how you're going to help me do this. I mean, it's interesting because if you picture them having conversations with each other and everybody agreeing, let's do this, it changes things. It's kind of a weird way of looking at it, but it really works. So today, when you go work on your goals, ask each of them, how can you help me accomplish this? This is day 2 of 2022. Remember, our New Year's resolutions didn't stop yesterday. Our goals are going today. So write down, what are the things preventing you from these goals today? What are your resolutions? If you haven't written them down, if you don't know what your goals are, write them down, please. Write down your goals, write down your plan, but write down what's preventing you from doing these things from these different perspectives, from impulse, from rationalization, and from emotion. And say, what can I do to get past that and contribute to this solution instead of taking away from it? So let's keep on track. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Don't give up on those goals. Keep after it. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. And I'm going to go work on some more of my resolutions. Bye.